So, question, Tusker. Does he get taken out? Did they let him through? Considering both teams love that hero.
10 seconds
Well,
remaining.
I think I wasn't actually going to predict Undying, but Doom, Wisp, and Mind Control's Darkseer. Like that, we didn't get to see it. We might get to see it this time around. Maybe OG will let it through, but I don't know how they feel about going against it.
10 seconds
I feel like Mind
remaining.
Control's one of those up-and-coming players that doesn't get talked about enough. Like in the offlane, he's a really big playmaker. I know Syndren's a big fan of him as well. He thinks that that guy's incredibly talented, and his attitude also seems pretty good from what I remember. We played like a few FPL games, and for some reason I always think that he was going to be toxic, but I played with him. He was incredibly nice, very good at communicating, and I think this is a really good quality to have in an up-and-coming player, like somebody that's actively going to contribute information. And when you're playing a role like Darkseer, that's something that you have to do. You have to be in constant communication with your team, and it seems like he has that down.
Dire team ban.
Yeah.
Liquid are one of the very few teams that run an Omni Knight, a successful Omni Knight. Like they ran it the other night with the Ursa combo when they're on Dire side.
They've also run it before, I think, with Huskar too, and had some good success with it.
I feel like the patch, for the most part, has kind of been solidified. Like, people understand what they're going to do. And especially near the end of it, no one's going to look for any ultra innovation with the patch coming up in the next few weeks. But I do like the fact that people are kind of looking at heroes like the Ursa and seeing how viable it is. There are plenty of heroes that Ursa does well against. Like, the burst physical damage from him is quite underrated. And Team Liquid, they're going to take a hero that we actually expected OG to take. But I feel like this is just as much of a block pick as it is something that they want to take. And on the flip side of things, though, even if it's Dire, I feel like if you have a good enough SF player, like, it's worth it. There are very few teams where I'd say, like, you would warrant, like, a first two pick as Dire SF, but I think, like, a team with Miracle on it, it's definitely okay.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hey, if you practice Wisp a lot, it's incredibly strong. You have a lot of different options that you can run with him. You're not pigeonholed into... Before, it was almost like there was a ranking system where you had to pick Tiny with it. Otherwise, the hero just... You know, it was like CK was a close second, and then Sven was at one point up there too. But nowadays, it's pretty versatile. You can run it with pretty much any core carry, and it'll pan out.
Yeah, the biggest ones are probably Gyro. Bristle kind of fell off a little bit, but sometimes we even see the weird ones with IO plus Huskar. And if you can just save him or just keep him alive, anything will really help out the Huskar. But when you're going against a Dazzle, Shadow Fiend, probably not. They're really thinking on Team Liquid. All right, do we want to get maybe a Wyvern here, or do we want to get a Gyrocopter? Those are my two big heroes still in the pool that they might want to consider. And they're just trying to figure out what they want to do right now. It's like couple up with the Wisp now or later.
I think oftentimes.
Imber Spirit.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
But...
Dire team ban.
It also kind of limits OG with their drafting a little bit too. In case they were still considering something like the Meepo, the Ember Spirit's going to be a real problem for them. The ability to jump across the map as well as control big groups.
No, it does too. I really like that, because I feel like I think you hit the nail on the head with the hammer. Because if you take the Phantom Lancer, which is a hero that No-Tail really likes to play nowadays, it'll hard counter that, or it does relatively well. Same against the Meepo, the Anti-Mage too. Like, there's a lot of different heroes that you can essentially just get rid of by picking this hero, which is what makes it so incredibly strong. Is that the mobility, on top of the fact that your initiation range is one of the highest in the game, and it's super reliable. Like, hitting the Sleight of Fist chains, you can do that 99% of the time. It's very rare that you'll see a competitive player miss it.
So I guess the bigger thing though is Shadow Fiend I do like Shadow Fiend against the Ember Spirit in the early game stages where you do get the mech, you kind of do group up, and then you can put on that pressure. They'll have a lot of sustain coming in from OG here, but Team Liquid right now, they have massive amounts of global
Dire
pressure
team
coming out.
banned.
IO relocates. Ember Spirit can be pretty much anywhere on the map most of the time. So we're seeing kind of like OG kind of, having the team fight right now. So since the Undying's banned out, Wyvern's banned out, I'm trying to figure out what they want to go for next. There was a
10
good Slardar
seconds
ban.
remaining.
That'd be Buku negative armor right there if they had that on their
5
side. But
seconds remaining.
we're going to see a ban out. What did Team Liquid? I mean, they could still put.
Reserve
Technically, you still
time.
could do Ember and IO mid, right? Against the Shadow Fiend. If you run at them, realistically, it could work out. But at the same time, you just get 1 raise, 2 raise, then the Flame Guard's gone. But a Poor Man's Shield early on the Ember Spirit can be very effective against the Shadow Fiend.
If the Dazzle rotates, though, isn't it pretty heavily favored towards the SF again?
It depends on what Team Liquid get for their offlane, and if it's kind of like shut down too. Like as Cap said earlier, Tusk could have been very good too in a situation where you're going against the Shadow Fiend. Sure, you have the Dazzle with the Grave to really turn it
Dire
around,
team
but
pick.
Dazzle should be just, like you said, supporting mid lane, stacking up, and well, let's see, they can go for the gyro themselves. Could see a different hero altogether. Getting a Juggernaut here, and then later on in the game, he can just go for the Abyssal Blade, locking down the Ember Spirit's always nice, but that
Jug's
takes a
really
lot.
good too against Summer.
I'm still worried about OG being able to move across the map because at that point, do you say,
10 seconds
do you approach
remaining.
Team Liquid split push, or do you try and force your own rhythm? Do you try and take out
5
towers and
seconds
hit that
remaining.
end game before the 30-40 minute mark? Because I've seen a lot of time with like Eternal Envy, for example, you're able to give him that
Reserve
space at the
time.
45-50 minute mark, and he just split pushes you to hell, and you can't do anything about it. Like I like to pick up with Bane because now you've got that control over an Ember Spirit, but it's like OG have to prepare the ganks for the Ember Spirit and instantly get into that Fiend's grip on Nightmare.
I don't have anything to really cancel the Wisp relocate yet either. I'm looking
Yeah.
for something like that, and like a Ravage, or not saying I want to see a Tidehunter, but something along those lines where you actually don't just have the Fiend's grip on a hero and then relocate it out.
10 seconds remaining.
But what else can you get? You filled both your support
5
roles already,
seconds
so it has to be a core that's got it. The Clockwork won't be reliable enough.
Reserve time.
OG we've seen Moon play Earthshaker a lot. It's not too bad when you have this aggressive lineup coming in from Team Liquid. But at the same time, if your Earthshaker kind of falls behind, if your Shadow Fiend does fall behind at all in the lane stage, then you have this Earthshaker off lane who needs to get levels to catch back up most likely. Could be very difficult for him. So, okay, this is just, let's run at you guys. Hello.
I'm also wondering if there's meant to be a counter, because in my mind I was thinking OG could be looking towards the Broodmother. A very easy Orchid early pickup up against the Ember Spirit as well as the IO. But Spirit Breaker will cause him a couple of troubles. Maybe not too many, that he might still be viable.
I think Ember and IO are like really good counters to the Brood, though, at the same time. Once you get the Flame Guard up, and then you just have a Dust, you can easily, it feels like, chase down the Brood with +1, especially if Spear Breaker's as a support or in the offlane. You could just charge anywhere. But yeah, like you said, I like the Spear Breaker pickup for that.
Yeah. It's just really good if OG, like, consider any kind of things. And I gotta give credit to Zoe right now, because she flagged me a message saying, is Centaur actually a possible pickup? And...
Yeah, I don't want to make any.
No, it's yeah, I'll give you props for that one. I wasn't so certain about this one. It's a jump in, it's a disengage, which isn't too bad. The only concern is what's going to happen on the lane, but I suppose if Team Liquid are looking at like what support's going to zone out a Centaur on this offlane.
Remaining.
Especially if you then couple him with the Dazzle.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Centaur Bane is really strong though. There's a lot of kill potential there.
Oh yeah.
They set each other up pretty well.
Would you actually want to send the Bane to the offlane with the
You
Centaur?
can send the Bane like anywhere. Bane is a hero that, just because of the move speed and the flat stats, that there's no hero that can really trade against him.
And then you. And your lane's blown up.
Ten seconds remaining.
This hero ruins
5
games. I'm so
seconds
happy.
remaining.
Like nobody has fun playing as Viper or against Viper.
Hey, I have fun playing Viper. It's like, it's like a,
Yeah, you guys really aren't.
you know why it's fun? It's because you make the enemy team fight you or you lose.
Yeah.
It's situations like that. It's like,
Is,
hey,
is it really
fight
that
me.
though? Because I'm looking at Team Liquid and their damage output really isn't that fantastic until you hit the later portion of the game. Up against Centaur, you're not going to find a kill. You got Dazzle, Shallow Grave, and Burst heals. You got Bane, who could basically heal himself anyway, and you got an SF who you don't want to fight into because he's the main man who's pumping out more damage than both your Ember and Viper combined.
Yeah, but you need a hero that can sustain, and you need a hero that can go high ground when you have a core like Ember. And Viper does both for you. Like, he accomplishes a lot right now. He's a frontline tank. He's a hero that can sustain in fights, that you can send forward, that won't get immediately bursted down. And most importantly, like, you can just, you know, send him uphill, hit towers,
10 seconds
can't really
remaining.
pressure.
I think the biggest thing is you can just bait them too. Like you have Spirit Breaker charging in and a
5 seconds
relocate
remaining.
coming in. You can basically be anywhere on top of this Viper and help him out. And then if he gets the mech,
Reserve
turn
time.
around, save, and then able to contribute in the team fights, it's going to be very hard. And can't forget the Spirit Breaker during the laning phase against the Shadow Fiend. You have to be very, very careful. Oh my! All right.
Team
Okay,
Liquid
you know why this hero is so
to
good, though? Right
Jeez.
here, it's just because people think that it's the... Like, for Huskar, it's the magic passive or whatever that makes the difference. It's not. It's the fact that you can just get an Aegis, get a bunch of, like, evasion items, and then just push down. And with the Dazzle, there's almost nothing that can burst you or kill you. Like, all you need is, like, Armlet, and you're the greatest hero in Dota 2.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
And there's
5
no
seconds remaining.
Witch Doctor.
It kind of feels like they should win their lanes as well. Like, OG's got such strong lanes, no matter how they pair the dual lanes, like, how are you meant to go against that, and what effect is the Witch Doctor and Wisp meant to have?
I mean, you're just gonna play the split game, look for individual pickoffs.
Until
Yeah.
OG force the
Yeah, I
issue.
mean, eventually they're gonna force it because they have a Huskar, and
Yeah.
there's no hero on Liquid that can immediately go for the Aegis. So that Roshan is gonna go relatively uncontested.
So Team Liquid just tries to get as much as they can before OG attack.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you do against Huskar.
Maybe you could see a good team fight coming in from Team Liquid
10
at the
seconds
Roche fight,
remaining.
and then they could potentially steal it. As Blitz saying, there's almost no way Team Liquid
5
can take it on their
seconds
own.
remaining. Prepare for battle.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Yes, Ryu, we get to cast. The real combo has now arrived.
The combo for the next generation, you know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
right. Finally, they kicked me off the analyst desk. We're going to get ourselves inside this game. And OG versus Liquid, what a great game to cast together. It's a full best of 3. OG, they are the favorites. I'm feeling very comfortable as well with their laning phase, but this might be a little bit of a problem for him. Crit already steering chained up, and he'll die pretty instantly, apart from the heal coming in from Fly. Crit will back up, and the Brain Tap let him survive. The poison attack won't find the kill. Now Kuro, who's the man in a couple of troubles. Mind Control is chasing up the kill, but Kuro will be the first blood. Crit does escape from the Spirit Breaker, as Moon wants to push the issue just that little bit harder, but he won't be able to. But can Mind Control get away to safety? He did get the kill over on the Bane, and now the SF, nah, they'll let him go. So the first battle happens, it's a 1-1 trade. First blood does go the way of OG, however.
I'm trying to figure out how Mind Control even got that kill. He's got 290 movement speed against 315 of the Bane. What the?
Begins.
So that was a really good exchange for OG there. So it's going to be looking really good now for them. Of course, though, the Shadow Fiend did use a lot of the raises, and that does hurt him in this early game here. So he can't really raise for CS, but he only needs 200 to get his bottle, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, he's close enough, and Crit's going to give him that extra support, maybe to keep Farner off in the early stages. What's going to be... okay, Mind Control's already charging in. Crit's going to get bounced back, and they're already going for no-tail. This isn't meant to do anything apart from zone out No-Tail's SF and keep his CS lower, maybe buy a little bit more space for Fada. But I'm still seeing Liquid with 4 heroes grouped around the mid. Finally, they're going to switch their lanes up. It's actually Matumberman who moves to the top lane to try and battle up against this Centaur by Moon.
And he's got 2 mangoes already. Here you go. I've come to play, boys.
How do you even do damage? Like, you've come up here as an Ember Spirit. You've got no mana apart from your mango, which you definitely don't want to use early on. And Moon can see this. He wants to make him burn through his regeneration because Moon is by far superior on this front. And Matumberman doesn't have mana for any kind of Flame Guard. Like, whatever he tries to do here is not going to succeed. That's why he needs to actually have the Witch Doctor move up here and give him a bit of a hand. But now you're committing 2 heroes to shut down a Centaur, which allows Miracle to get a lot of space with Fly on this off lane. And then Mind Control's now up against a Huskar as well as a Dazzle. I wish him the best of luck.
And his camp is blocked too. That's the worst part about it. At least if that wasn't blocked, he can maybe pull it back. So he's just kind of like, all right, well, I'm just going to be getting runes, I guess, guys. Maybe charging in on... Well, we have a little bit of harassment on mid lane from No-Tail. He is getting dived pretty heavily, but nothing's going to come of it here.
There was an opportunity to really make something out of it, but like they're forcing the lane a little bit more. No-Tail might just raise down the wave because in 10 seconds the rune's going to spawn, and Crit's going to make sure that bottom one is controlled. Because all the damage to which he took was repaired by the full bottle he had on him. And now 2-minute rune, double damage, so welcome to even more presence in the mid lane. But the early stages, the CS war is still going the way of Fada. That middle lane, you haven't really seen enough from No-Tail. He's 4-2 on this Shadow Fiend. So we'll have to look pretty soon in towards the dire jungle, where there's currently no stacks.
Yeah, and this is just going to be so much pressure going to be put onto No-Tail no matter what. That's what they have to do. Like, that's the only lane they can really effectively take on. Just because Moon is very tanky. He's got boots already.
They're going again. But with Crit's Nightmare, it's almost impossible for Team Liquid to get this middle lane engagement going. But Matumberman's also not a healthy chappy. It's actually Moon who's chasing down. He gets the double-edge kill. Matumber will get a quick revenge, so Moon finding a kill, not sure if really worth it when you give a solo kill like that over to an Ember.
Yeah, you gave him the levels and you gave the money over to the Witch Doctor. Now he's got boots, so he can really effectively zone out the Centaur. Hopefully he won't die this time. But yeah, I would say a good trade-off for Liquid there in the end.
Yeah. It's something nice for the Ember. But the biggest concern is still what's going to be coming out from Miracle, from this Huskar. It's that timing of OG. You always look for something big to come out from Liquid. We're saying about this during the drafting phase. Like, when do you see this mech arrive? When do you see Liquid being able to repel that battling power that will come from OG's big SF? Like, No-Tail's playing catch-up in the jungle at the moment, giving Crit the space to find levels in the mid. Even if he has to farm with Brain Step, that's still going to be more efficient than leaving the SF close to this Viper as well as Wisp.
I guess the biggest thing you could say right now is that Spirit Breaker, as well as, Moon, they're going to be going on, but no, they missed the Meldic. But the biggest thing is, yeah, they're just getting so many levels from both of the offlanes right now. So effectively, these offlane heroes will be hopefully having a big impact. I would say Moon a bit more, just because he's just getting so much. They can't even kill him at all.
Yeah.
Look at his CS. He's got 17.
It's pretty high, man. Every time he can trigger that double edge, he's going for it. Get as much CS as he possibly can. Yeah, you lose your life once, but he's also 5.5. We have to remember that if you're not initiating on Moon, you're initiating on the rest of OG. And you're doing this with the slow from Viper, potentially the slow from Wisp, charging in from SB, which is still a direct run-at-you kind of play. Even the Paralyzing Cask and the Ember Spirit, like, the Ember Spirit is probably the only one that can control OG because of the Searing Chains. But once you've got Stampede up and running, you've got a lot to play with. Moon maybe didn't really want to go for that double edge at that point. He's still got 7, now 9 stick charges, so he's got a little bit more life to play with. He'll trigger this, try and look for that last kill on Jirex, who runs around the tree line, and eventually he'll pop from the Malediction. He wanted one last double edge.
No, Kuroki blocking the stack. Coming out. He's been scouting out. Doesn't look like he has Invis, but he does.
It's a Wisp, man. He never changes. He's always the same.
Charge in onto Fly. He's got a bash. Is he
if
on
he
the
gets
high
another
ground?
one, no. He got very lucky with the first and into Fly. If he got a second one, Fly would have been up on that cliffside. But Fly would have had a TP scroll, an easy way to get back down again. So it wouldn't have been as terrible, but it would have been a little bit clowny.
Yeah, flagging the TP is always good. You always want to have a TP scroll ready when you're playing Dazzle in this situation. You can help out top lane or the middle lane at any moment given. So I'm surprised he didn't actually help out Moon top, maybe TP up there. But Miracle is just free farm heaven. He's already got his... That's just scary.
Wait. We are not even 6 minutes into the game and we have an armlet.
It's Dota things, man.
This is brutal. Like, he can basically fight whenever he wants to now. All they gotta do is just TP the Dazzle down, or just walk the Dazzle down. Up on the top lane, looks like Mooney's gonna actually find out one. He can't get close enough to Jirax to get the stun off, but they got the Nightmare over on the Viper. Stampede is still available too, so if they wanted to initiate, they potentially could, but Mind Control, he tries it on crit. But he knew he couldn't keep that going. Crispy in the mid lane for too long. He's got 2 points up in Brain Sap, so he'll get a lot of life back very quickly.
It wasn't that bad of a play for Mind Control just to keep on charging in, because maybe then they'll cast Stampede and then they'll just waste the ulti. But they're doing the best they can, Liquid, of trying to slow down the SF.
Notel doesn't have any mana on him right now. He's still got 2 bottle charges as Moon. Stampede up, paralyzing cast, it's not going to bounce, and Notel, now he can think about turning around. He's bottling up, so he at least got 1 raise available as they go into the tower, but Moon, the Malediction, is it going to be enough? It will not. The last little bit of stick charges that he got off is enough to keep him alive.
Nice wanding. But yeah, this is at least a really good play so far from Liquid, just giving the state of the game. Huskar is just going to be out of control, it feels like, and at least they're winning mid lane. Fada's going to have a really early mech, and as well as, you know, Matamba Man, he's doing pretty good for himself now on the top lane, so I want to say Liquid are doing all the right things right now.
One thing I do want to flag on Liquid is probably their biggest weakness at the moment. Yeah, Matamba got really great farm, but look at Jirax as well as Kuro. There really isn't a lot of farm on these guys, and especially in the levels department too. Because the Bane took so much time in the mid, because SF just rotated himself into the jungle, these supports from OG have got a lot more farm and a lot more levels than what Liquid have. So you're going to get Fiend's Grip up a lot earlier. And once this weave starts arriving as well from Fly, the damage output can either be negated or amplified.
And speaking of Fly, I mean, look at this. He's got Shallow Grave level 3. I mean, when's the last time you could say that? This is making sure he is in the very back, and he's going to keep Miracle alive.
Why level up the most useless ability in Dota? Poison Touch. Moon, he's able to get the hoof stop over on Kuro, who tethers himself backwards, but Miracle, a very simple kill. Fly, able to kill secure. Wasn't even with a Shadow Wave. That was just a basic attack. As the Rune Control just keeps coming out as well, so Notel, more coming into him. Miracle can just start creep skipping as well. Back behind the tower, able to take out the tier 1 crit, finding Mind Control, prepares with a Nightmare and Centaur. Well, he'll be able to just walk over here. Hoof Stomp, double edge, plus the Brain Sap. Mind Control loses a lot of life, and he wants to charge back out, but he can only charge in short. Pops out the salve as well, but that's just burning money. While OG take out the bottom lane, you take out the Spirit Breaker. There's a lot coming into the bank account of OG right now. In fact, they've almost got a 2k net worth in just the last minute.
Some of that's going to be negated just there because Matamba Man did just get his tier 1 tower on top. But yeah, kind of confusing to see Spirit Breaker not charged somewhere else. He could have gotten away because there wasn't much mid lane though.
Fly TP's in at the right time, starts the weave, so Kuro as well as Fader. Crit moves over, and Nightmare's on Kuro. There's no tether out this one. In fact, Miracle just jumps into paralyzing cast. Gonna cause some problems, and they have to Shallow Grave him up. And how hard can he battle Fader? Real trouble for him. Miracle's still gonna die here, unless he can armor toggle beautifully. He's just so low. The Malediction bomb, they can't even claim him at the moment. He'll survive through all of this, jumping in deep into Mind Control. Invis Room will not save him. It's a triple kill for Miracle. Moon is controlled in the mid, but it's just not enough. This guy's got over 1k life, even one charges up, and now Miracle turns over to Matamba, Spirit's up and away. Moon, the steering chains plus the Witch Doctor help is able to find the kill. So the SF as well as the Centaur dropping down. Miracle, Kuro's hoping for the ball slap from the side, but Miracle gets back into the tree line, into safety, and with the armlet available, he's able to heal back up again. So 5-7, but that's where we see a glimpse of the power that is the Huskar in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he was just showing off there. Here, look at me, guys. I could just do everything in these team fights. That was really well played from Matamba Man, actually getting some return kills there. Else that would have been a huge team wipe.
Look at the damage output. How much of it came from the Huskar? Almost 4k came from the Huskar. The nearest you got was the Ember with 2k. He just stands, he burns, and the Shallow Grave does so much work. Like you'd think when you're being attacked by poison, you got malediction on you too. You're hoping that's enough damage, but the magical damage just is shrugged off. It's only a level 2 Berserker's Blood. Now they try and initiate the Nightmare, allowing for the hoof stomp on him, but maybe not. Actually, yeah, even with the Searing Chains, he couldn't buy enough space. The jump back and Kuro giving him a lot of life, but Miracle jumping forward, Mind Control, buying the space. The Shallow Grave going to work again over on the Huskar, allowing him to toggle once again. The Bash is throwing him back, as now they do have that physical damage coming in from the Death Ward. The Nightmare protecting himself, Crit throwing himself into that nightmare of a, well, not a dream, but OG. Disengage. And they then just heal up and ready to fight again. And there's no way that Liquid, like we knew this was going to happen. We knew OG was going to force it, and Liquid are doing a pretty damn good job of holding the line.
I mean, they're just fighting back nonstop. What is this though? Tranquil boots on Miracle? This is just absolutely confusing me right now. I don't think I've ever seen a Huskar go for Tranquil boots. That's first in my world, at least. But yeah, they're holding their own, and that's a good sign for Liquid, at least.
I'm wondering if it was meant to be something else, but there's nothing which would really build for a Huskar.
You gonna get Aquila?
Yeah, that's not really the play. But yeah, you're right. It's very uncommon, but at least it'll give him armor, or give him his cheap movement speed for now, as opposed to having to spend the money on the treads, and it allows him to have the item to fight now. The Nightmare over on the Ember Spirit, the Weave's on him, so that armor is going to start stripping away as Miracle tries to focus over on Fader as he'll back up. Chris taking a lot of damage there from Matumberman. In fact, he may even burn out now. No, they won't. They stampede forward, chasing up Matumberman, and the damage is enough. The Ember Spirit goes down to the physical damage of the SF. No matter how hard Kuro tries, he keeps saving up the stick charges, but it's never enough, or it was before, it's not now, to save that Ember Spirit.
I mean, it's just both teams have so much sustain in these team fights. It just seems like OG just have a little bit more. You know, the Tranquil Boots, he gets the full HP. He also can lifesteal back up. He's got the Shallow Grave to work with, and it's only going to get harder here from Team Liquid, so... I mean, they do have the supports now kind of coming online. Kuroki needs to get this level 6 very badly. I mean, the biggest thing too is Crit just got his level 6 now. Imagine if they had Fiend's Grip in these team fights.
It's going to be brutal, man. It's a little bit harder when you got the paralyzing cask bouncing around to get a full Fiend's Grip duration off, but you're seeing OG preparing themselves to just fight long. You've got 1 urn and 4 full magic wands. They understand this fight was going to be forced early, and you've even got like Miracles walking around with 14 wand charges. And there's so many spam abilities that Liquid do trigger. So they keep getting wand charges after wand charges in the fights, plus the heal coming in from the Dazzle. Then the maneuverability that Moon's searching for. He comes in from the side, finds Kuro. That hoof stomp, it doesn't get the stun. As Kuro's able to tether himself away. And somehow with all this fighting too, Moon's walking around with 1,500 gold. Like they're pinging out towards Roshan, but it's Matumberman who's... he's got a spirit to jump to, so he is definitely going to be safe.
Yeah, he's kind of baiting out with his creeps there too, so if the smoke breaks, they'll instantly get attacked by the creeps.
He needs the Fiend's Grip. There we go. Range creep moves for him. Matumba goes deeper. He's only got another, like, 10 seconds left on that illusion, but it looks like she want to initiate on Crit. The charge is coming in. The Observer Ward wouldn't have scattered that out. But already Chris trying to back himself out of here. If he times this Nightmare correctly, he'll dodge the charge coming in. In fact, he does that exactly. The Hoof Stomp from Moon catching out too, but Mind Control into the Nether Strike, jumping up for Crit. He just can't survive this one. Moon might lose his life as well. But the trade-off is you get Roshan over on OG. Miracle now has an Aegis to the Immortal. But Liquid got good trades. Like, they push down the middle lane. They get a kill over on the Bane on bottom. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse, but at the end of the day, we've seen what OG can do without an Aegis, just face rushing Liquid, and they're going to keep doing it too. So Liquid are trying to do their best efforts, just dodging and dipping away from them. It's just not working out. So eventually they're going to have to fight them, but maybe if they can get the Battle Fury up on Matumberman before the high ground, maybe it'll be enough. But by the time that happens, it's just going to look like Miracle's just going to have this. Oh my goodness, he's really closing in on to having the evasion. And once that happens, I'm not seeing how Liquid can even touch him.
It's like when you almost have to, like, do you even go a glass cannon on the Ember, going directly into the Monkey King bar? Or do you rely on... Actually, no, you can't rely on anything. I think there's nothing to rely on.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Like, there's no way the Father is going to be building into a Monkey King bar of his own until very later on. Because he still needs to get something more like an SMY to be effective in the fights up against the other heroes.
Yeah, we seen him go SNY against for his Razor, but in this game, he's just falling far behind, and you can't really flash farm with a Viper, so he's just going to steadily keep on declining and declining, especially since he went for this mech build. That's why you might be seeing, he might be even go for a Midas, realizing that this game is going to go later, or at least hoping so.
They're coming again for crit. This time though, crit's underneath his own tier 1 tower, so if you do charge in, expect support. In fact, it does come. The relocate comes in from Kuro, and that's a very dead Bane. You commit your relocate for that, and in return, OG will now try and take a tier 1 tower, but it really is just trade-off. Bane goes down, but it's tier 1 for tier 1.
Yeah, it's going to be actually a tier 1 for tier 2. I don't even think Liquid or OG have to back necessarily here, and they push and do more damage into the towers, so they can just keep going if they really want to. Although, you see why Miracle's backing off. He forgot to buy a TP, and there we go.
Mind Control's charging, and then he gets lucky in a way. He'll be able to steal that haste rune. Kuro may have preferred to have that bolted up, and then Ember Spirit took the bottom rune too, so Kuro's got an empty bottle on that Wisp.
I'm really surprised they stopped the pushing on top lane. I guess they just want to push out their other lanes first, though.
When you see the Spirit Breaker charging, and then you go like, it's dark on the bottom map, so they didn't understand what was coming at them. It's just safety more than anything else, and why should OG take the risk? Like, you don't want to really force things until you got that mech on the SF, as I speak of the devil. He's already got the mech. And you got the Blink Dagger. Okay, yeah, they're very much ready to force things. Even Arcane Boots over on a Bane. They got Sustain Mana, they got Sustain Life. This is actually the dream right now for OG. They've hit all their timings, but Tumberman, even though he's on a good timing, his timing's not good enough that he can fight into OG and be really useful. And the Viper doesn't do enough damage because he went the mech first.
Yeah. And he's gonna have to go for this catch-up Midas, it looks like. So this is not looking good. And they just missed an easy kill on Moon 2 in the mid lane. Like, he double edged. So what they did is they wrapped around on mid lane, expecting the Centaur to kind of maybe blink away. But instead he double edged, that takes off your Blink Dagger. So if they had just immediately went in straight away, they could have got the kill. But very unfortunate for Team Liquid. That could have helped maybe stall the push a little bit longer.
But the push comes now. And OG will take out that tier 2 tower and Miracle. Are they even going to stop? They've still got another minute left on this Aegis the Immortal, so it's quite possible that OG, yeah, they're coming. We're not even 20 minutes into the game, and OG will now start attacking into the tier 3 tower. Fortification is available, and yeah, Kuro gets picked off by the Centaur. Moon should go down here. If there's a bash, he gets around the true line, blink in 1 second, and Moon goes for the hoof stomp to start with, and then blinks down. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Miracle is attacking into the tier 3 tower. They've got to stop this. The Searing Change is there. Remember, he's still got this Aegis for probably another 30 seconds left, and just beats into Tumberman, who has to fall back. He's got 4 Searing Arrows on him, and needs more life. Mind Control got Nightmare outside of Miracle. He's really forcing the issue. He wants the Aegis to pop, but if they can kill off Mind Control with its Fiend Script, it's even better. The charge, he'll get back out of the lane, but remember what OG came here for. They've already gone through the fortification, so beating into this tier 3 tower is very simple. I'm watching this Aegis on Miracle, however. It is just the timing. The timing is the key. It hasn't burned off yet. It continues to armlet toggle, and even defensive weave, the armor is raging up as well. Vader, the Meg charge will keep him alive as Miracle. Well, there goes your Ember Spirit back. Mind Control again. Unsuccessful charge with crit. Get into control. Notal, he lets the ulti rip as Miracle. He wants to fight Mind Control. The Glimmer Cape for the observers and sentries are down. So OG see everything. The shallow Gravelet Notal fight. This is OG. When still even 20 minutes in, they just keep fighting. Miracle has lost that Aegis to the Immortal now, but Tumberman, he's down for the count. 50 seconds on the sideline. He'll instantly fight back after buying up the Battle Fury, so the money is there. But can Miracle finish the job? He's jumping in. They're just forcing the issue. As there goes Vader down. Tumberman, he cannot afford to die after this dieback. Or after this buyback. As Miracle, there it is. The bottom ranks will be taken. The only thing that really stops OG right now is the fact that tier 2 towers are still up. And actually, they're not even really stopped. Miracle, he can't be stopped. He's too big.
I mean, he doesn't even need the Aegis anymore. It feels like you're gonna get slept again. What? No.
It's the Glimmer. He can't be protected. Kuro, Miracle just goes for him, and Kuro's gonna burn. He can't survive. And now Vader as well. The burning spears just keep stacking up. And Miracle, he understands he's farming heroes, not even farming buildings at this point. Jumps in under the tier 4 towers. Miracle, there you got armor toggle, but they got no stuns. They cannot stop him. from doing what he does. The Spirit Breaker is the man keep getting controlled, charging in deep. Crit may die in the back lines, but Moon back to front lines. Miracle, now it's a triple kill for him. He'll move over. Can he actually start killing heroes and forget about the buildings? Because Mind Control, he's down for the count. It's an ultra kill for Miracle. OG, not only have they pitched the tent, they've basically set up the campfire as well. Kuro is going to drop in just a moment. Miracle, he can't go any deeper than this, can he? No, Moon can, however. Blinks forward. Rampage for Miracle. Is now he may even go to Matumbaman? Nope, they come back. They've taken the bottom. If Matumbaman wants to fight, I'm fairly certain Miracle will oblige. But they're going to finally, are they? Yes, leave? I don't think Moon wants to. He still sees Jirax. He wants to go for more, but nope, they'll blink back and it will be over.
Oh, hey, you got a break there, Toby? Can you breathe?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Talk for a bit.
All right, well, I just saw, you know, a clean old butt whooping. How many heroes did they even lose? I feel like they only lost one hero on OG where Liquid lose like 10 or something. That was a...
We have a 12-0-4 Huskar. 21 minutes in.
You just can't even analyze that fight. It's just a Huskar. He just 1v5 the enemy team. It's just unbelievable stuff coming out.
Well, I suppose we could see this coming when you get a 5-minute armlet.
Yeah, dirty last picking Huskars.
And now he's about to finish up, like, in 1,000 gold, he's got the Assault Cuirass. Moon's looking for another one with Kuro. The Hawk Stomp, crit with his Brain Sap. They have enough damage with the attack. The Paralyzing Cast couldn't buy enough space. So Kuro is down for 30 seconds, and this is just brutal. Like, this is no mercy. There will be no white flag on their door.
Yep, this is just going to get bullied back into the thing. I mean, what do you even do at this point? I guess the best thing you can hope for is that maybe Matumbaman can get a crit stick at this point, and then hopefully, you know, do some big crits, and I don't even know what OG have left in the tank. I mean, or Liquid have left.
Yeah, I don't think you can even do it with a crit. You just can't get the physical damage into Miracle, because even if you think you are going to get it, you've got Fly who just goes to town with, giving him so much extra armor. Moon jumps in. The Ember may have actually picked off the SF as we split this fight up. Moon's actually going to die inside the base as OG going way too deep. Miracle was busy just farming over on the side. But now, well, the Huskar joins the fight, and Jirax will leave the fight.
I mean, this is their best chance right now as Liquid if they can...
Well, is it? Even without the Centaur as well as the SF.
2 cores down? 2 cores?
This is your only chance! Okay. The Spirit Breaker can't do jack when the Bane's on the field. You're getting Fiend Scripted, you're getting Nightmare every single time. The Dazzle will keep Miracle alive, and you've got all your damage and all of your frontline tank coming from the Huskar. Now you're going to get more with an Aegis the Immortal.
Exactly. If you don't make that fight and you don't chase them, you're just going to get Aegis again, and that's basically game over. So... at this stage in the game, maybe Matumbaman goes for the big plays. Oh, can he do it? Is he gonna get Fiend's Grip? No, he's gonna get Fiend's Grip.
It'd be pretty amazing if he could. He's gonna put the Spirit down, but the Observer Ward, oh, crit. He Glimmer caves up to get the Fiend's Grip. Miracle will jump in. Matumbaman, I don't even think that was 3 hits. It was 2 hits from Miracle and then the Shadow Wave from Fly. But now there's no Ember Spirit guaranteed for a minute. They have the Observer Ward still there, Mind Control with the Shadow Blade, but OG have been so good with their Sentry Wards. There's been no way just to slip heroes in and out for Team Liquid. They see everything, and now there's the safety Aegis over on the Huskar. I'm
waving the towel. Towel's been thrown in.
I'm sorry, man. Apollo refuses to leave.
They've just been KO'd.
It's 11:22. This is... How much are we looking at? At least the graphs are coming back up again, but OG have what they need. Like, these graphs now don't mean jack. OG have what it takes to finish this mid lane. AKA Miracle.
They don't even need the rest of the heroes in the game. I mean, you just go AFK.
Yep. Well, I don't know about that.
That's the only way they can win.
Like, the SF as well as the Centaur possibly can. Because they still need to have crit and Fly's control. But what are you going to do here? Like, you're TPing back now with your Witch Doctor, so you can at least bring the Paralyzing Cast back. But up on top lane, they just try to split push, get a little bit of extra cash. Mind Control will try to charge in from behind, and he does go directly down. They don't see crit because the Sentry Wars is further up. But Miracle, he just tanks it.
It's not even hitting him.
He's not even
He's
stunned.
AFK.
He's actually
AFK.
Okay, that's just like manners, just
Oh.
staring him down with the eyes. But Tubberman's gonna get initiated on with that SF Requiem. The relocate save comes at the perfect time, but now we see what Miracle is capable of. Beating into Fader. They'll shallow grave him up just in case the armor toggle doesn't work with the attack from the tower. But now Mind Control finally comes in range of that sentry ward. They raise him, double edge him down as Miracle just keeps going to town. Kuro, the Ghost Set will protect it, but not for long. The Burning Spears are actually going to tick him out back behind his fountain. I'm sorry to say, guys, but this game is over. OG will take out the mid-racks. Again, the tier 2 tower will stop them from taking out the top lane, but it's 25-11. GG is the call, and OG will take game number 1.
What a pick Huskar is. I mean, Liquid kind of tried out their best though. They kind of put, pressure on the mid lane. Shadow Fiend. Oh, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know how to say. We got.